From the highest mountains of Scandinavia, the Norsemen started in the year 793. Beautiful Viking ladies. To this fearless fighting dragon, creator of our show. And so be good or beware of the witches. To the low-lying plains of Washington State, where we are now creating these Viking festivals. Midgard Viking Festival 2024. And for a small town, Arlington has a host of events. From concerts in the park to the Fly and Sky Festival, the Show and Shine car show, farmers market, and just a short, beautiful drive down this country road from my home, we arrive. To the Viking Festival we go, right down the street. Oh, you can't beat that. Through the beautiful evergreen fir trees, the farm fields that some of the neighbors have. Great place for a festival. And an entrance fee of $15, and you can stay all day and have a wonderful time. The men in armor, the swords, knives, and don't forget to dress up for the occasion. It's a lot of fun to roll with the flow, walk around dressed up, look at all these nice crafts that people make. The Vikings came from Sweden, Denmark, and Norway. When the history of the Vikings was when they were in Iceland. They began to tell of their tales and stories of back home and writing them down. Iceland and Greenland were the new frontier for the Vikings, where some of the wives had fled. Their wives and their slaves, as marriages were arranged, so people fled. They didn't want to hang out and stay there. It was the new frontier land for the free.
No, tell me.
It's Norwegian and German in nature, but it's like the anti-Santa Claus. So for American, it's kind of Santa Claus brings you coal pieces if you're bad, and the German and Norwegian folklore, if you're bad, Krampus will come and steal you and take you away.
Oh.
So it's the anti-Santa Claus. Yeah, look it up. He's got some pretty big horns and he's kind of a half-beast.
Wonderful.
Chains and that sort of thing. So
Wow, that's
cool.
neat.
That'll be
Yeah.
our next project when we get home.
Well, thank you.
Absolutely, thank you.
And I think I was a Viking once. I'd better get my psychic reading done. Oh, there I was.
Yeah, wow. How long you been making these?
Oh, 5 years.
Well, that's real neat.
The artist herself, look at that. The daughter, beautiful paintings in here. A small horse with a beautiful mane, but one of the purest breed horses in the world, the Fjord. And because of the small size of their horses, they were able to take them on their long boats and go on their adventures around the world to do their plundering, conquering, raiding, and trading. Most of them in their settlements were farmers and fishermen. They were the first Europeans to reach North America, Newfoundland, called Vinland. They also went to the Mediterranean, to Britain, France, and as far as North Africa to the Middle East and Iran and over to Russia and to Ukraine. They had decorated carved figureheads of dragons and serpents on them. And every warrior on board had a broadaxe, sword, shield, and spear. One square sail, a bunch of oars, and a rudder. They went about 17 knots on average. Viking chair right there, that's where I'm going to sit down. Look at this, here's the campsite right here. Really spooky. I heard my dad's voice come out for me for the first time ever in this next clip. How about that for a tent, huh? What do you think? You want to go camp and sleep right in there?
crafts right here. Natural wood brushes are anti-static for your hair. You know, you should get a pair today. Dressed up for the
Midgard Viking Festival. Only the best time ever.
You bet it is. It's a lot of fun, especially in this new place that you found this year.
Oh yeah, that's beautiful here.
And some really ornate handmade earrings. And many kinds of very beautiful colored feathers.
I just get one online. Oh, this is...
And through the thick of the fog, you won't see the axes of my warriors.
Come on! I'm not exactly good at
Look at these masks.
it. You know as bad as you used to be, at least you finally found something else.
Excellent replica Saxton helmets.
Try on the hat right here. Look at this. I'm ready. Where is my sword?
And let the battles begin.
It's 40 years old, this armor.
Wow, that's a long time.
And as they begin to face off, he takes a chop to the leg. And yes, you can dress up, get a costume, and prepare for battle training yourself. Just come in and join. Wolverine was associated with evil and fear. Wolf was a symbol that they put on their clothes and their carvings, but did you know that the Vikings kept cats, bears, dogs, falcons, and hawks as pets? And their fantastic longboats. They have some beautiful oxen and buffalo horns. You know, that's what the Vikings used to use to drink their bajor or sahati, their alcoholic drink. The craftsmanship, the engravings, and the quality of these swords were just first-hand beautiful. Yep, and I think you should just be tough like a Viking and have your buttermilk in that skull cup in the mornings.
I'm ready, so watch out. I have to join the show now.
And a real Viking kitchen utensil, a pizza cutter.
And the Viking in red. He even looks like a Viking. Look at that bald-headed Viking. Oh, boy. Man, alright.
You local?
Yeah, we're all local here today, you know.
And as raiders, traders, and conquerors, yes, we carry our swords and we will win. These are really nice little hanging mobiles here. And a whole array of beautiful homemade necklaces, crafts, beads. Come and buy some. They're just really beautiful. They hand make all of these. And from sharp-toothed jaws to majestic mobiles, you can hang these in your longhouse and keep the spirits away. And of course, feathers for your mask, costumes, and arrows. We need them. Or come and buy one of these great Viking board games. And there is evidence of a few famous ladies powerful that were buried and burned at sea on their longboats. One, which is the name of Sigrun, who was a very famous lady. Tales have been told of her. The longboats from 65 to 90 feet that usually carried from 30 to 100 men. And they had no fireplace on these boats. I don't understand that.
The miniatures come unpainted and unassembled, so I mean that's part of it.
There's evidence of 13 known women to go to Iceland to claim land. And there, in a sense of speaking, democracy was born, because as the settlers came, they evenly divided up the land. There is plenty of land to give to all. And there has never been found any evidence of the Vikings wearing horns. And as the Vikings went to York and waged battles among the citizens of England at the time, the church says, oh no, what do we do to get rid of them? So they created groups to fight the Vikings, which is generally basically the forming of England. Very beautiful artwork and paintings on these cups and candles and little vases. I mean, just fantastic craftsmanship. Look at these, you can see right into their eyes, and it gives you the visualization of that you were right there with the Vikings in the days. And they spoke the language of Old Norse. And one great night after a raid, me and my warriors, we drank 15 horns of beer. With the magic powers of the smudge pots and the crystals, we could keep the demons away. It usually takes the Vikings about 2 weeks to a month to build a sword. Buried with their axe and broken swords to stop grave robbers. It can take quite a while to build some of these swords and knives. You know, it's a lot of work standing there in front of that hot fire. I mean, naming their swords like Gold Hilt and Leg Bitter. They would even use the bones of their relatives in the process of making the swords. These are actual battle-ready swords with a value of some of them of $600. And the older the sword, the more the valuable it was. The word Viking comes from the Scandinavians, the language that means pirate. And the Viking navigators used the sunstone, a mysterious crystal, to navigate the oceans. Well, tell us about your festival here.
So Midgard Viking Festival started 10 years ago as Arlington Viking Fest. We've been growing it ever since then.
Where was your first show at?
First show was at Legion Park in downtown Arlington. Little tiny park, and we started with 1 tent.
Oh, wow. I know. I've been to one before down there in downtown Arlington.
Oh yeah, that was us. Just way before it got this big.
How many festivals have you had?
This is year 10.
10, wow. Okay, so I've been to 3 of them before then.
Oh, excellent.
We were at River Meadows for, sorry, not River Meadows. We were at Twin Rivers for 1 year. We outgrew that in 1 year. We moved out to River Meadows. We did not outgrow that, but we needed a more permanent location.
Right.
A little bit better visibility.
Something that we can continue to bring this annually so that the community has something to do.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Oh, good. Glad
With
to hear it.
actually more planned for the next coming year. We have more to bring on board and continue to bring fun family events to everybody. Including the Halloween one we're working on.
Yep.
And a post-apocalyptic. And a Yule event, which will also be a Viking event.
Oh, wow. Okay, so all 3 different events you do.
Yep.
Yeah,
So with this one it'll be 4. So.
That's great.
We're expanding next year to building more Viking tents for open Viking camping, so the Viking camping experience.
I was going to say that'd be neat if you had the little tents that people could stay in and go camp, and then you have like a little dinner and then the music and everything like that.
Absolutely.
We're hoping to expand into that
Yeah, we're
next
hoping to
year.
expand into that next year. Our beer garden will be up and running next year as well. Licensing was a little late coming through this year, so we will have them up and running next year.
Wow. What's a festival like this cost to put on?
$30,000 to $50,000.
Wow. I heard it was what, $8,800 in town to rent the property, was it? And it was less
The
here?
Parks Department,
For the
we
Parks
wanted to expand by one day, was looking for around $7,500.
Wow. And that was at Legion Park.
That was at River Meadows.
Oh, River Meadows.
Yeah, that was the county park.
What's the park in town cost?
The park in
Way too
town
small for
is
us.
way too small for us.
They won't even let us operate there anymore.
Wow.
Yeah, we outgrew them pretty quick.
Uh-huh.
So, but they've been very supportive. Our hair braider over here has been coming since day one.
Yeah.
She actually, her business is across from the park we started at.
Oh, okay.
So a lot of our vendors, I'd say 80% of our vendors are repeat because.
And very friendly, welcoming vendors. And with your Saxton helmet off and your horn at hand, you can drink to the god of autumn. And with the thick sheepskins and furs, yes, they did keep themselves warm. And now that's a cozy tent. And then with your fair maiden, enjoy the evening. And with a variety of vendors, there's plenty of things to see. And the magic, majestic powers of the women. Watch out, it's Draki! We need Siegfried, the famous dragon slayer. Where are you? And one of the most famous Viking warriors was Eric the Blood Axe. And Ingrid, the beautiful fair maiden. And the ladies Astra, Amma, and Laika in their beautiful dresses. These shows and events here, you know. Just take the day off, go and be sure to grab a sword. Warrior Wolf, Wolfhednar. Nice spot. I figured, oh, I'll just sit right here by these neat little Viking tents. And it's where you sit that makes it really nice. While at sea, the adventurers, travelers, and warriors, they usually had a lot of dry salted meat and fish. And of course, well, you know, they had water and a lot of beer, or, you know, the sour milk. With the traditional hardtack of dried bread, lots of nuts, and dried fruit. And occasionally when they had the chance, good thing to their flat-bottom boats, they could stop at shore and hunt some wild game and chow down on some meat and get fat and full. And with such a pretty smile looking for the great warriors, and be fearful, there's axe-toting Vikings walking about. And at the end of the 11th and 12th century, the Vikings did become Christians. And lots of beautiful homemade, hand-sewn costumes of the Viking era you can get here. And the Viking himself, the founder and the creator of this event. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe.